Hello, Peter.
Hi, Dominica. How are you?
I'm great, but as a small business owner, I have to tell you, I'm very concerned about this potential TikTok ban. I want to understand if it's even justified. Is US Congress on the right path with all this? Why TikTok needs to be banned? And I think the best person to ask is a former CIA spy, Peter Wormka. So tell us, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think there's justification for the US government to be very concerned about how the Chinese can potentially utilize TikTok for a collection of information on US persons, right? And it's not just that the potential, in my personal opinion, the Chinese have been doing this for a long time, aggressively collecting information on US citizens. And there's been a number of significant breaches that are publicly known that were conducted by the Chinese government. One of the most significant ones back in 2013, 2014, the hack of OPM, which is the repository of very, very detailed information of individuals who have been issued clearances by the US government, potentially up to 22 million. And then followed by Equifax breach, that's 150 million individuals had their records stolen, and that was also the Chinese government. Then there is the hack of the Anthem healthcare, which had significant amount of, I think, like 70 million individuals. And then there was the Marriott International that had a record stolen to include travel and passport information. And then most recently, the hacking into the telecom networks to collect information on even conversations, also by the Chinese government. So to me, is there a potential for TikTok to be utilized by the Chinese government to collect information? Definitely yes, and I think it has already been done. So we're a little bit behind the course of that. I think it can and has been used to collect information, and the Chinese government could potentially use it as an agent, for influence and manipulation. Now, your other question, though, okay, should the U.S. government? I think the U.S. government is trying to look at what is a way to deal with a huge problem, and they see banning it as one measure. Or, first of all, having it sold to a US company and not be owned by a Chinese company. Ideally, that's what they want to do. And if they can't accomplish that, to outright ban it. But that's very difficult. The only way to ban it really would be to probably target the companies that are using TikTok as a commercial platform, as that's probably the easiest way to try to put pressure and control TikTok, because they try to target and the general population not to get on TikTok. There's always going to be ways people can use VPNs. There could be ways for them still to gain access to it. So I think ultimately the pressure is going to be placed upon small and medium-sized companies that are using TikTok today. As you mentioned, that you're concerned and others are concerned that this could happen. I think that they're going to continue, the US government is going to try to do everything within its power to try to get TikTok to be sold to a US company, and if not, try to create difficulties for that platform to be utilized. Outright ban, I think it's going to be practically impossible for them to accomplish.
I understand. And the other question I get asked a lot, how TikTok really spies on us potentially? How do they do it?
Well, anybody who's trying to collect information on an individual, one of the things that we do, as a social engineer, human hacker, we will go through social media, all the platforms that an individual may have a presence on, and we can collect a tremendous amount of information just by legally going through the platform. So if they gain access, backdoor access to the actual platform, they can collect additional information on all the individuals that currently have profiles and utilize TikTok. And there's a lot of different algorithms that can be used to collect this information. And so what are they going to do with this information? I guess it depends on a lot of things. I'll give you one scenario. Let's assume that they want to target a specific individual who has great access to intelligence of the United States government, or who could be an agent of influence. They could identify them, maybe having already a security clearance through the OPM breach, and then now they say they collected all the information regarding this individual. Now they can look for individuals who are closely related to this individual, such as their children, maybe that are active on TikTok. So collecting, all this information to target one individual, this becomes an added resource for the Chinese government if they're looking to conduct a really aggressive targeting of an individual.
Yeah, this is something us small business owners definitely don't think about when it comes to content creation. And I don't believe anybody's reading all those long privacy policies we agree to whenever we sign up for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're lucky if 1% of the population actually reads through those. Lawyers put them in there in place, but the people don't really pay much attention. They just feel that, hey, this is a great, and it's free. Anything that's free is great, right? But anything that's free comes with a cost. We do give up our privacy.
So tell me, Peter, is there anything we should be mindful of while posting our content out there? Even if it's just to promote our businesses, we often show some behind the scenes, personal information. Is this something that potentially China may be interested in while
Oh yeah, I mean,
promoting our
like
content?
even when I look at somebody that's doing the video, I'm gonna look in, even in the background. What do they have hanging on the wall? Other things about them. What books? What books
I'm
are they
just
reading
looking,
in the
what do I
bookshelf?
have? I guess
Yeah.
not much today, but
But I mean, there's a lot of things that we can learn from individuals, and I guess it depends on how much information are we willing to give up, or what makes us vulnerable. Giving up this information makes us vulnerable, but I think more importantly, the information may already be out there, and so we got to be more in tune with thinking, okay, how could this information be used? How could this information be used in an approach to us, and be aware of different types of approaches that could come to us through the platform, like TikTok, someone trying to contact us, or through LinkedIn or through Facebook, et cetera. People that reach out to us that we don't know, and try to establish that connection with us, right? Or, someone making a phone call to us, or sending us an email. Any sort of approach that could be based upon utilizing of that information is going to try to draw us into a particular situation where they're gaining our trust, right? And try to get more information from us, and maybe getting us to undertake some sort of action. It doesn't have to be necessarily an intelligence service such as the Chinese have. It could be any criminal group as well, that the information we're putting out there provides them with fuel, right, to really finely tune their particular approach to us, and that makes us vulnerable. So we have to be aware of going down anything to where we click on a link, or we send money, or something that could be based upon some scenario that's been put together where we think automatically this person is contacting us. We trust them, right? Or they draw upon some emotional response from us. We immediately take that action based on that emotion without thinking it through. So basically, a lot of this information is already out there. It makes us vulnerable. Now we have to be focusing more on what kind of approaches are being made to us. Are they legitimate? Am I doing something that they're asking me to do that could really be detrimental to me or to my company?
understood. Do you personally use TikTok for your business?
No, I don't. Actually, my daughter wanted me, because she gets involved with social media, and she was initially suggesting it, and I said, "No way, I'm not going to use it." I mean, I'm not telling people not to use the platform, but I feel it's not a benefit for me, okay, for my business, so I can forego that. For other businesses, I can see why that platform is really, really important, because of the nature of the type of business. They're out there trying to sell a product or a service, so I can understand why companies are using it, and why they have a lot of invested in that, and they're concerned that is taken away. What other resources might they have? It might not be a bad thing, no, for everybody to think of what in the likelihood, I mean, in the possibility that something could happen to TikTok. It might be restricted, and maybe it makes it more difficult for companies to use it. Look for alternatives. Have your plan B, right? I I was using LinkedIn for a period of time for a lot of things. And all of a sudden, LinkedIn cut me off for a couple of days while they were investigating something. And I said, wow, I have all of my equity, my social media equity really was in the LinkedIn platform. That can be turned off if you don't own it. If you don't own your platform, that can be turned off overnight. And what are you going to do?
Absolutely. That's why we do recommend diversifying content. We recommend to
Mhm.
post everywhere. Whatever platform supports the form of content you're putting out there, you should definitely be there. But to me personally, I have to tell you, if a former CIA spy doesn't use TikTok, it is a clear sign to me maybe I shouldn't doing it either. So tell me, Peter, what is your final prediction? What will happen January 19th? Let's have fun with it.
Oh boy, I don't really want to make a prediction, because I
Okay.
just don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things behind the scenes regarding this issue. My personal opinion, I don't think they're going to accomplish a total ban of this platform. I don't think that's going to happen. It could, but I don't think. I don't think it will. I think this the government is going to put more and more pressure in trying to get TikTok to sell to somebody, or to a company that's U.S. That's probably the path they're going to try to continue. That's what's going to happen ultimately.
Thank you so much for all the information, for your knowledge, invaluable for us small business owners. Tell me if anybody would like to know more about cybersecurity or how to stay safe online, safer. How can they utilize your tremendous experience?
Oh, thank you very much. Actually, the best way to reach out to me would be either going to my website, which is counterintelligence-institute.com. We have a lot of resources available on that website, or you might want to go to my LinkedIn profile is very robust and has lots of information as well. So those are the two resources. And we also have a podcast, The Security Guy and a CIA Spy. That's every couple of weeks. It's a podcast that's done with my colleague, Robert Siciliano. And yeah, reach out to me if you want more information. I also give a presentation. I'm a speaker, frequent speaker at conferences, and I host workshops for trade associations as well as companies. And so if you're interested in potentially booking me to speak on this topic, I'll be very, very happy to do so.
Thank you so much for your time today, Peter. Take care, and let's hope
Thank
the resolution on the 19th will be positive.
Let's hope. I thank you very much for your time, and you have a great day.